Papa me, the dangers of Airbnb. See, okay, before we even start, I went to Europe, right? I went to Ireland, England, Poland, Germany, Paris. You know, I went to a bunch of places when I went over there for 2 weeks. All we did was Airbnbs. Now, most of them were pretty good, but some of them were kind of sketchy. They were kind of like, maybe we should like take turns watching the door. We only had one. We had a couple Airbnbs that were kind of sketch, but we had one Airbnb where it was like, all right, we got to like probably watch the door. So, and that was in the middle of Germany. So, yeah. Okay, the dangers of Airbnb by Papa Meat. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? Coming in and sitting down because today we're gonna dive deep into the dangers of Airbnbs. Summer is the perfect time to take a relaxing vacation with some friends and family. This house looks nice. No longer do people go to hotels. Now you get to be in someone's home. I don't live there, but you can stay there if you want. It's pretty much Airbnbs. It's always weird. I went to an Airbnb one time and they still had like pictures of their family up. Well, I remember I messaged and said, am I right house? Because I thought, I was like, did I actually break into the house? Because also, usually when you go to an Airbnb, they have the padlock. Hey, let me know, whatever. I just walked right in. So I was like, hey, is this you? They're like, yep, that's me and my kids. I was like, had on the nightstand too by the bed. I like turned around, like put it down. I was like, I don't want you looking at me while I'm sleeping.
Was the whole house just covered head to toe?
Oh yeah. It was, I was like, almost like, I think that they were just gone for the weekend. They're like, just put the house up for the...
I see.
Maybe you want to take a trip to Cabo or the Cayman Islands, or maybe just a trip to Disneyland. Wherever you're going, you're gonna need to find a place to stay. Hotels used to be your only option, but over the years, prices have gone through the roof. But thankfully, there's an alternative. Airbnb. Airbnbs offer more convenient, maybe more reliable places to stay for your vacations. From Shrek Swamp to a refurbished missile silo. Airbnb offers unique experiences that will enhance your vacation. Please, Daddy, can we stay there? Please. We're staying in the missile silo. You'll like it. How?
Dude, why? I mean, okay, the missile silo would be kind of epic, but also like, I feel like there would be a lot of radiation there and just like, I don't know, based off that picture, it did not seem very fun. And I'm like, I wouldn't want to sleep there. See, okay, when I was on my trip, we went to this lake and I went to Michigan and we went on a lake adventure where we were on this boat with a bunch of people and you get to see shipwrecks and it was pretty epic. But there was like this lighthouse in the middle of it, right? And the people told us that they were going to make an Airbnb out of that. And I was like, that is genius, but also that's scary as heck. Because like, I mean, like, okay, it would be pretty cool to be in an Airbnb in the middle of the lake. But also, if there's an emergency, you're screwed. Or if you just want to like leave, you are just screwed. Like you were literally in the middle of the lake in a lighthouse. So it's like, I don't know. Some Airbnbs are cool, some are not.
However, not everything is created equal because Airbnb operates in a very gray area. Dangerous and disgusting circumstances can still arise. From satanic rituals to gangs thrashing homes to even police standoffs inside the Airbnb. It makes you think Airbnbs are not as safe as you think. So, get ready to book your next vacation as we explore the horrors of Airbnb, starting with bad host, which if you've ever gone on Airbnb, there's things that make your stay look more optimal, like, oh, this is like guest favorite. They'll market that if it's been rented a bunch of times. Or there's a thing called super host, which I still don't really know what that means. I think it just means people, it's like a very high rated host, very responsive, all that kind of stuff. So a bad host would be whoever you're staying with, not a good guy, not a good woman. And I think that, to be fair, the hosts of these Airbnbs, if I can be so bold, they can be dicks sometimes. Remember that one time we were in Texas and we stayed at the Airbnb? That bitch left me a 1 star because I left a candle. There was like a little bit of candle wax on the counter. She's like, you ruined the countertops. I was like, it's 1 candle. It was like this much. Well, it doesn't matter. Every hotel has a list of basic rules that you're expected to follow as you stay in the hotel. Airbnb has similar expectations as well. Like, you have to take out the trash, throw the sheets in the washer, don't light candles on the wood furniture. I want to go and burn that fucking place down, dude. Also, too, that's another thing I hate with Airbnb. You know what I like about hotels? I don't give a fuck. The only thing I don't like, they tuck the sheets under the bed.
Yeah, I hate that too.
Don't like that. Here's another thing. If I'm staying at your Airbnb, you come over and take out the fucking trash, dude. If it's an excessive amount, don't get me wrong, you can be like, well, I mean, look what we did. Come on.
They got mad at us too for leaving one trash bag.
We DoorDash McDonald's. There was one bag of McDonald's in there. They're like, you didn't even take out the trash. And there's candle wax all over the place. I'm like, why don't you calm the fuck down, Sarah? I'm not gonna say we're out in Texas, but you know who you are, you dirty bitch. I'm gonna go back with a box of matches and I'm lighting that motherfucker up, dude. Fuck her. But some hosts go overboard. After booking an Airbnb, a guest was surprised to see a long list of additional rules that were hidden on the booking page, because if you also notice, you have to scroll all the way down and there's like, it's hidden in the fine print. That's how they use like text descriptions and shit. It's like a YouTube description box. Some of the rules included: you can't stay in the room during the day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m.
You can't stay in your Airbnb during the day. If I'm renting that mother trucker, I'm staying there the whole day if I want to. Now, usually you don't. Usually you know, rent the Airbnb just to sleep there. But there's been times, I'm sure there's at least one day on your whole trip in an Airbnb where you just chill there all day. Or maybe the whole trip. Maybe your whole trip is just being there all day. I don't know. But that is dumb. You can't stay during the day. What counts as the day? 9 to 5. That is all day. You can't be at your Airbnb all day. Pretty much. Like, brother, what the heck?
Yeah, that's your allotted time. Otherwise, you can't stay in it during the 9 p.m. to 5 p.m. You cannot be in the room. Guests are not allowed to shave in the bathroom sink and will be fined $175 for doing so. I can kind of be on board with that one.
175.
Like, don't be shaving your dick hair, pussy hair, your beard at my place, dude. Why don't you groom yourself before you show up?
No, I think you can shave.
You think that if you sit there and you're like, shaving down there?
I would rather go to a hotel.
To be fair, it's your, well, yeah, the hotel ain't complaining. People coming in with like a dustbin and like a deal. Sweeping up and looking in the sink. Oh, rolling up some toilet paper and like wiping the inner sink. Or if you leave the fridge open, it results in a $50 fine. Leaving the ceiling fan or bathroom fan on is a $50 fine as well. And guests are expected to maintain a 6-foot distance from all people in the household at all times. This had to have been a COVID thing, right? If other people are staying in the home, you are not allowed to.
What? If I go on a trip with my buddies or family members, we are not staying 6 feet. If we have voluntarily been in the same house together, we're gonna hang out. We're not gonna be like, oh, you gotta stay 6 feet away from me. That's just dumb.
Talk or engage with them in any way. You can't talk to the host unless it's an absolute emergency. Which also, it's like, what do you mean I can't talk?
What?
Shocked by how absurd some of these rules were, the guests tried to ask if the rules were.
Is it get contacted unless there's an emergency? What if you're like, hey, I accidentally locked myself out, and they're like, that is not an emergency. Don't ever text me ever again. And it's like, whoa, okay, chill out. Like, I just want to like get in my place that I paid for. And they're like, don't talk to me, all right?
Negotiable. However, the host freaked out and contacted Airbnb support, claiming she was being blackmailed.
What?
Help! The rats are in my house, are in my walls. Makes me think that she's in the house somewhere. She has that thing where it's like a painting and it's like the eye shift that comes down. She's like,
She's probably hiding in the toilet.
face underneath like that. No number twos. Airbnb would support the host and tell the guest to stop messaging the host or face legal consequences. As a result, the reservation was canceled without a refund and the guest lost $1,300. Nick, I'm telling you, box of matches, the place is burning down.
Yeah, a little accident.
1,300.
I don't know how the match got struck and your house got lit on fire. I don't know. There was a lot of paint thinner in the garage. I think that's why it caused that explosion. Wait, we want to thank today's sponsor, Game. And I think
Sorry, no
sponsor. Drink. So much for gamer guest. Some become obsessed with every guest that stays. Jay Alley was a super host running a rural vacation spot out in Comfort, Texas. He had received thousands of positive reviews from guests who had stayed and were constantly booked. He's a popular man on Airbnb. Superhost. However, his reputation went down the drain after some guests made a sickening discovery. As soon as the couple arrived, Jay said, "Be comfortable. We don't care if you're in your PJs or nude."
host.
No, seriously, spread out. Look at that big old bed. It's pleather. Already creeped out, the couple began to look around inside the property and noticed a padlocked door that had been made.
Yeah, if my host said that, I would be like, I'm looking around immediately for cameras or something strange. If he was just like, be comfortable, I'd be like, okay, cool. But like the fact that he said PJs or nude is like, all right, buddy. Like, come on.
To blend into the wall. I don't like that already. Can you imagine seeing a padlocked wall? Like wallpaper, whatever. Is that a padlock on the wall? You just hear like, and behind the wall, you're like, oh, like scuttling behind the wall. Oh my God. In addition to the hidden door, one of the renters discovered that a plug-in adapter had a secret hidden camera. The couple quickly left the Airbnb and contacted the police. Following a thorough investigation, police discovered additional hidden cameras and confiscated multiple iPhones and laptops. On those devices were over 2,000 photos of all previous guests. Pictures of people undressing, having sex, and just staying in the home were all found on these hard drives. And worst of all, there were numerous pictures of children.
Dude, this guy was chilling. If he wasn't weird about it, he would just keep going. Also, I just heard children. Hold on.
Were staying with their parents. That's definitely a dude who's just...
All right. Okay, this guy, he needs to go to prison. He probably did, but... Like, okay, you could be a pervert, you could be weird, you know, but like, really, bro, children, like, leave them out of here, all right? Leave them out, all right? Jesus Christ.
like, diaper change time, that kind of shit. Sick fuck. At the time of his arrest, Jay faced 15 charges of invasive visual recording, and he would take a plea deal that resulted in 9 of the charges being dropped.
9?
He would only serve 1 year in prison, which I do think...
1 year? For all of that, and there was kids on there? Nah. I'm at least 10. At least. There's no way.
Lock him up, dude. The biggest thing I'm afraid of is that I go and I'm being recorded in the place I'm staying.
I used to have a fear as a child that there was cameras in the lights. So whenever I was pooping...
You're a smart child. You're a smart child because I didn't know about this until like way later. So like I'd be like out and about, whatever, spread on the bed, jacking off, doing whatever, taking like crazy shits and all that. Now when I'm in the bathroom, I'll like I cover outlets. I do all kinds of stuff. Sometimes you ever see an outlet where you're like, why is that there? These weren't the only guests to experience a nightmare stay. Another unsettling Airbnb encounters. A couple checked into their LA Airbnb looking forward to their vacation. At first, the host seemed hospitable, leaving them a little bottle of wine and a nice note telling them to enjoy their stay. And after going to bed, the couple was awoken by a man screaming and banging on the front door of the house, looking for someone named Kevin. Kevin! Kevin!
What?
They frantically contacted their landlord, who simply replied, yeah, that was me, sorry about the confusion. Life's too short for me not to give you an explanation.
What? Dude, what? Hey, why is he banging on his own like Airbnb door? And then afterwards he doesn't even explain. He's just like, life's too short, man. It's like, okay, you can't just spend 4 seconds to explain what's going on. Okay, Kevin.
Hold on, this quote is insane. He said, yeah, that was me. Sorry about the confusion. Life's too short for me to give you an explanation. Have a nice time in LA.
What?
That's the quote. Quote end, which also I'd be like, we're leaving. I like how they're just like, all right, let's go back to bed. Like,
okay.
The next night, they went to bed after a beach day when a hooded man jumped through their window and laid spread eagle on the floor. The man, whose name's Che, got up and pinned the man to the ground and revealed that it was once again their host. The police.
Who is it? Is this guy like Batman or something? What the heck? What is he doing?
Were called and arrived via helicopter to take the man away. The police arrived in a helicopter?
Maybe they're on a beach or like on a mountain.
What?
Yeah, I was thinking he was doing like snow angels on the ground. Kevin! He's not here! I'm Shay! Kevin! Apparently, the host was renting the place without his landlord's knowledge. When questioned, the man stated that he was attempting to remove the couple due to disputes over cleaning fees. Does any of that make sense?
No.
Airbnb agreed to
That doesn't
cover the
make
cost
any
of the
sense.
booking and paid an additional $2,500 for their therapy sessions. My God, honestly, the more that we talk about this video, the more I'm just like, Holiday Inn is fine. Holiday Inn is perfectly fine. I've never had any. Well, to be fair, let me tell you, we'll do a motel horror story too.
Okay, see, I've been to a lot more bad motels and hotels than I have bad Airbnbs. Okay, like one time I went to a motel and the beds were wet. They weren't just damp. They were like wet, and we were like, why is this wet? And the guy was like, oh, sorry about that. Let me get you another room. And then we got another room, and the beds were still damp, and we were like, brother. But they were super cheap, you know. And so me and my dad got this place. I think it was like $30 or like $45 for the night. So it was like crazy cheap. I was just a kid, so I didn't care. But my dad did. And then it was weird. Like the air conditioner was like on the ceiling. I think it was a Super 8. It was so goofy. We were like, what the? And it was like broken. So it just like led to outside. And we were like, okay. So there was just like a broken part of the wall right above the air conditioner, which was already on the ceiling. And we were like, okay. So we just got Marco's Pizza and we had a good night. That's all you can do in that situation. You can just eat some good old pizza and be like, all right, and then go to bed.
Airbnb, there's just something about Airbnb that just is a little.
Well, it's someone's home.
I think that's the uncanny nature of it. Is because I feel like I already shouldn't be here. That's like walking into an Airbnb, like, oh, it's a nice house. It almost feels like it's like if you got to tour a home that you were wanting to buy, and you just decided to stay the weekend. Why don't we just feel it out? That kind of thing. But it's just like it's still someone's living there. See, it's just uncanny. Too uncanny. I don't like it. And as horrifying as that incident was, it wasn't the only time guests faced violence from their host. In another shocking case, a woman's stay ended with her being brutally assaulted. In 2017, Sabal Nukumbi.
Sebulba.
In 2017, a woman and a few friends traveled from South Africa to Amsterdam to attend a friend's art exhibition and review their work. How kind. At the end of their trip, the group was slow to pack up and leave the Airbnb. The host had messaged them multiple times to leave, but they were still packing. God damn, he's like really rushing them out. Get out of my house. Is that an Amsterdam accent? Get out of my house. I want you gone. Where's Amsterdam at?
It's like
Dutch?
Yeah, it's like Dutch. Get out of my house.
Get out of my house.
Okay, unless they are like, unless they are taking like forever and it's like hours after like their initial like date to leave, you have no right to do that. Like you just don't. Like if they still have like a day left, or like he says that they're still packing, just let them pack, dude. Give them an hour or something. Like Jesus Christ.
I'm also at our house. Get out of my house. Right as the woman and her friends were leaving, the host's husband showed up and got physical. He began grabbing them and shoving them out the door, telling them it's time to leave. It's time to leave.
It's Indian.
That's Indian. Yeah. While they were being forcibly removed, the husband began making racist remarks, referring to the guest as "you people," and telling them that this was not Africa. God damn.
Whoa, what?
How many? Well, I guess there's some. I wonder how many hours was it?
I'm thinking it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah, in my mind, it was like an hour where they're like, "Well, sorry, we're running late." In any regard, I mean, to show up and just be like, "Get the hell out of my house!" I can't with that thing. He's going to Indian. The guys tried to tell them that they were leaving, but that wasn't enough. Things escalated when the husband grabbed her and threw her headfirst down the stairs. Once she was at the bottom, he threw her belongings down after her. God damn! Good fucking Lord! And there's the footage. Wait, there's footage of her actually being thrown?
Out. Oh my God. Out. That's it. Out now. Oh my God. No.
Whoa. That was not what I expected. Her face was like just was going down, like, you know. Oh my God. That was not what I expected. Dude, that was crazy.
Out. Out now. That seemed a bit fucking excessive if you ask me. Good fucking Lord. Which, of course, after falling that hard down the stairs, she was knocked unconscious and taken to the hospital. When she woke up, she had a severe concussion and multiple bruises from the fall. Airbnb issued a statement saying that they were appalled by what happened and banned the couple from hosting again. The husband faced legal charges, but they were never publicly stated. I like how it's a company, all you have to do is just be like, oh, okay, wow. That was weird. Right, guys? Can we all agree that was weird? Let's just
that was weird.
Just let that sink in. Luckily, that host can no longer rent out their house, so problem solved. Thanks, guys, so much. It's like the amount of people that probably like Superhost getting like physically actually assaulting their guests. It's got to be a lot.
You think the Superhosts are doing it?
Maybe not the Superhost. I think that was a rare instance of a Superhost getting upset. Hosts aren't always easy to deal with, but guests can be just as bad, if not worse. It's time we look closer at some of the stories about horrible Airbnb guests. I think that Airbnb brings out the worst in people.
Why do you think that?
I think it's because you get too comfortable. The lack of amenities in a Holiday Inn room, it feels like a prison cell. You don't even want to be there, right? But an Airbnb, when it's like, oh, look at this bed. Oh, like rolling around it and stuff with it. Oh my God. Rolling around that. You're like on the couch, you're lounging around, you're watching TV. You feel like you're home.
Yeah.
It's too much. That's where I think that's the delineation, right? Those who live next to Airbnbs already have to deal with a lot of loud guests. And in 2016, Airbnb launched Airbnb Experiences, which allowed people to rent properties specifically for parties. What a fucking nightmare. However, the company had not planned for a resident.
Okay. I see where they were going for, all right? Now, in theory, that sounds like a great idea. It'd be like, oh, people have parties all the time. Let's freaking party it up. Except there's no like, you know, the people there don't care about the person's like place. So they're just like, let's just trash it. So A, you're just trashing the whole place, and B, your neighbors are gonna hate you because you're having parties every single night. So like, I don't know.
Central apartment to be converted into a nightclub. In the UK, a one-bedroom flat was converted into a full-on nightclub with professional lights and speakers. Neighbors quickly complained of the noise as over 200 people packed into the small one-bedroom apartment venue.
200
and not only did it feature
people.
a professional DJ, but it also had bouncers standing outside to ticket guests as they arrived.
What?
And even with professional equipment, neighbors claimed, quote, it was horrible music. With one person even saying,
was horrible.
I've got a pretty good sound system in my house, and it was better than that. Priorities from the Brits. I mean, if you're going to be two-stepping upstairs to some house music, you might as well get a good bloody well-fucking system on it, eh?
I like how, yeah, that's what they're complaining about. It sounds horrible.
I'm not saying I'm an audiophile or anything, but I just mean that's bloody well rubbish coming out of there, huh? Police were called, but didn't shut it down until 6 a.m. because they feared people would get hurt exiting the packed apartment. That's a great way. Sardine yourselves in there. They can't. He's like, oh, well, we might as well just wait till the morning. When the sun's up, they'll be able to get down a lot easier. Yeah. And this is just one example of the many parties that got out of hand, eventually leading Airbnb to outright ban parties in 2022 and shut down the experience program in 2024, which no shit. Also, how selfish could you be? Yeah, hey, Todd. Hey, so we're running the Airbnb experience program, so there's going to be a lot of people partying over here. I don't like that at all. As the neighbor, I don't like that. I actually live in this house. It's not just a rental property. Okay, Todd, that's great, but I'm still gonna run the experience program. Okay, buddy, thank you so much. While some Airbnb rentals get turned into wild party venues, others are misused in far more unsettling ways. For example, people checked into a UK apartment and wanted to pay for their stay in cash, which is against Airbnb's policy. Despite this, the owners still let them in and they got to enjoy their stay. When it came time for them to leave, they asked for a little extra time because they had a heavy night. The owner allowed it, but was caught off guard by the name of the person messaging them. Google showed that they were two high-profile prostitutes who charged $1,776 USD a night. That's pretty cute, right?
I just got it.
So no, you want to come up?
$1,700 a night? Jesus, that is crazy. I mean, I wouldn't get a prostitute ever because that's gross. But like $1,700. I mean, okay. All right, you don't want some cheap, gross one. All right, you want a good one. But like $1,700, you're telling me I could either buy a really cheap car or I get a prostitute? I'm getting a freaking car.
You want to come over here and hit me, Minge? It's a little tea party. Enraged, he showed up to the apartment and found that it smelled of expensive perfume. Deeper in, he found 8 open wine bottles and condom wrappers everywhere. Each garbage can was filled to the brim with used condoms and paper towels, and the owner had to pick them all up by hand. That's his choice. He could have got. I would buy some tongs, bro. Okay, well, all right. My hands are. Realizing that his home had been turned into a brothel, he called the police to investigate, but no arrests were ever made. Police only made a public notice warning other Airbnb hosts in the area to be aware of the guest and report them if they were ever found. Which also, what the fuck do you expect, man? Yeah, no credit cards. Well, I'm sure that's fine. I'll take the cash. I wonder what the British call that. Like a brothel? What they call that old slip and slide, huh?
I like the tea
Little
party.
slippy slide.
It's a tea party. Come on in here and eat this minge.
Because you get to soak your tea bag.
Open up her legs like that and take your balls and just dip them into the hole. He's like, what do you think he did? Like starts pissing and shitting everywhere.
What? Oh, okay.
Ah, the UK. It's a beautiful place, is it not? All bad hosts eventually get what they deserve, but not all hosts are bad. Many rely on their rentals for their income and need the income to survive.
Hogwarts
Across the pond
experience.
in the UK,
What is this next
Harry
one gonna be?
Potter-themed getaway had been ransacked after 2 guests checked out. When the host's brother opened the door to begin the repairs, he was shocked to see the condition of the flat. All of the coffee mugs and glass cups had been smashed in the kitchen. Furniture had
What?
been damaged, and all curtains had been torn from the walls. Throughout the apartment, there were coffee stains on the walls, trash cans, and even on the mattresses.
Do you know that's coffee? That looks...
Dude, who does that? Who goes to and like with anything? Who goes to an Airbnb and just destroys it? Who does that? Like, I don't understand. If you're renting something or if you're borrowing something or something like that, be respectful. Like, what the heck is? I don't understand. I will never understand that. Whatever.
Looks a little like poopy. I was gonna say they like captured like a little person and dressed him up as Dobby. Dobby wants to leave.
And this is him trying to get out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dobby was trapped. In the year that it had operated, the Airbnb had all positive reviews with numerous families drawn to the theme. After everything had been cleaned, the cost of repairing and placing the items the guests had destroyed was $6,000.
Grand,
Or 2
jeez.
magic wands. Huh? If I'm going to an Airbnb that's Harry Potter themed, put a Dobby in there.
Oh, you know it'd be good if a little butler came out dressed as Dobby. Hello.
But I don't, no. Not even a butler. I just want him to be, you don't know where he's at, but at some point, Master.
Is he standing over you with a pillow?
Master must love Dobby forever. Dobby wants Master inside him.
Oh my god.
What?
I just want to have gay sex with a guy dressed up as Dobby. You can finish inside Dobby. Well, okay, Dobby. If that's what you want. Just don't go back to Hogwarts. I won't, Dobby. I won't.
Is Allison sleeping next to you?
My wife and kids are in the other
What
room.
the
I'm like,
heck?
Another host shared that they had a similar incident with body fluids in their Airbnb. As soon as the guests arrived, they began causing trouble. They had shown up 8 hours earlier than they were supposed to and brought their newborn baby, which the host said they couldn't have, which also it's like, well, what do you want me to do?
Oh yeah, that's weird. No, you can't bring the newborn.
It's like, it's not a fucking Rottweiler. It's our baby. Yeah, but you should just I wouldn't even just bring him. When it came time to go inside and clean, the host was greeted with a disgusting scene. Large patches of infant poop was caked into white carpet everywhere in the unit. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the one time. Yeah, usually people who have babies aren't just throwing the shit on the floor and caking it in. Oh, white carpet, huh? In the bedroom, there were
Gross.
puddles of breast milk sitting on top of the comforter. They had also pissed in the shower and didn't wash it down. Love the clarification there. Yeah, they pissed in the shower, but they just let it pool. Following the incident, the owner made a claim to Airbnb to cover the cost of the cleaning. We're making a public commercial that you can go and just like piss and shit and put shit like on the carpet and put breast milk. And all you have to do is like, you might just pay damages. That's it. That's the extent. And drugs are common at shitty motels, but can also be found in local Airbnbs. Daniel and Jocelyn Madrano were excited to receive an 11-day booking at their home that would pay for their upcoming trip to Florida. It's a nice little thing. They're like, well, there you go, finally. The man who booked the home showed up late and immediately began to act strangely. Daniel and Jocelyn watched on the security cameras as as more people showed up
Is
with
that Dobie?
fans, tarps, pots, and random powders. They tried to contact their guests, but were ignored. Shortly after their guests arrived, the police were called. Investigators had tracked down 3 men in their car and had canines search their vehicles. And inside the car was pounds of meth, and all the men were arrested.
It's a lot of crystal.
Back at the house, it was discovered that they had set up a massive meth lab, producing over 100 pounds of meth in less than a week. They cooked in the kitchen and dried the meth in both the master bedroom and the Madrano's daughter's bedroom. The state of the home was unlivable as the chemical processes had stained all the walls and made the home smell of ammonia. Meth crystals had gotten cooked into the carpets all throughout the home.
Dude, that sucks. Like, imagine just trying to like make some extra money to go on a trip, and then your house just gets absolutely destroyed. That sucks. People suck.
And
man.
altogether, the cost to repair the home came to about $26,000.
26
All three men
grand.
were arrested, face first and second degree felonies, and have a $500,000 bond, and all are still awaiting sentencing. Just
my
whatever you
God.
do, you can piss, you can do whatever, just no drugs. That's where it draws the line.
What's a hazard?
It's a hazard, and that's the only thing that can get you jail time. Apparently, yeah, you can shit, put breast milk, whatever, but God forbid you cook a little meth, and that's where we go wrong. Millions of items go missing or are forgotten at Airbnbs every year. From phones to toothbrushes to random socks, these items are pretty tame in comparison to what a group of renters discovered at their French Airbnb. A group of 20-year-olds rented a 7-bedroom house roughly 10 miles south of Paris. As they explored the massive home, they went outside and walked around the garden and made a grisly discovery. Slumped over in a small dugout hole was a rotted corpse of a 30 to 50-year-old woman. God damn, she must have been decaying to not know how old she was. She was in the very back of the garden, concealed by branches and stumps. She was fully clothed, but didn't have any shoes, and she wore a large diamond ring on one of her fingers. The cause of her death was impossible to determine because she had sat there for so long that she nearly decomposed. Based on all the available evidence, police believed that foul play was involved, and after the body was removed, investigators questioned the group of renters and they canceled the reservation shortly thereafter. God, dude. Can you imagine? Well, also, too, the property must have been so massive that all the people that had been staying there for so long never actually ventured through the garden. So who knows? Think about like the landscapers. Word. Maybe it was
Dude,
just like,
who would have done that? Like, and how long does it take for a body to decompose so much to where you just can't figure out anything about it? That's gotta be crazy. Like, I don't know. It's just insane. Like, and also, like, who would have killed him? Was it like one of the renters? Has it just like, did somebody just put him there? Or like what? It had to have been a renter. It had to have been. There's no way. Unless it was the owner of the home and he was like, oh, frick, I don't know how that got there.
like the fall season, because I know in some places where it's like, oh, in the fall into like winter, obviously there's not a lot of landscaping because stuff's not growing as much or whatever. It's more of a spring, but still, I don't know. People book Airbnbs for a wide variety of reasons, including
insane.
birthdays, vacations, and business trips, but most guests check out after they finish their celebrations. However, 2 guests check in, but never check out. On the island of Cephalonia, 2 guests performed a satanic ritual that involved taking their own lives. Lilia and her 30-year-old German boyfriend arrived at an Airbnb in a
Why would you rent an Airbnb just to like commit suicide? What the heck? It just seems like a waste, you know what I'm saying? Give somebody else that room, you know?
vehicle with fake plates and locked themselves inside. They arrived 24 hours before the first full moon of the year, which was necessary for them to perform their satanic ritual. When the full moon rose, Lilia lay in a bathtub and cut herself, resulting in fatal wounds. As she bled out, her boyfriend sat next to her and watched her until she died. When she was gone, he
Watched
took a knife
her?
and stabbed himself in the heart, ending the ritual, and the 2 bodies were discovered the next day by the owner and reported it to the police. Outside of the bathroom, they had drawn all sorts of symbols and placed dark objects around a pentagram, and showing investigators it was
heck?
all for a satanic ritual. Lilia was an international student from Bulgaria studying in Germany. She had been missing since June and was being sought by Interpol. So who knows? Do you think they got to meet the devil?
I think so.
How do we know that
That's
night
what it
when that
freaking
happened,
seems
that
like.
demon didn't just be like, you did this correctly. Come with me now to hell.
That's why he stabbed himself. This is awesome.
If you're a Satanist, is hell cool? Is hell rule? I thought like Satanistic shit was just being like, you basically worship yourself. Well, okay, well, let me just say, for the people who are like, let's kill ourselves and we'll enact this ritual. What's the end goal?
Go to hell.
So you want to go to hell?
Yeah, be Satan's.
Or you offer yourself and you're like, I get to become a demon if I do. But even see, why would you want to think about it? Even demons want to get to hell. They want to get out of hell. And everything they've ever read, they're like, yeah, they get out of hell and they just like fuck with people and they're like, fuck, I have to go back, and then go back. Well, I'm just saying, maybe instead of killing yourself, maybe just go to Cabo. I can tell you right now, you get on some jet skis in Cabo, you're gonna be forgetting about the devil, dude. I'm just saying right now. Now listen, guys, the next time you're thinking of going on vacation, make sure to weigh your options and choose where you stay carefully. Behind the beautiful photos might be a host with too many rules or even killer roommates. You never know what you're gonna.
All right, cool. That was an epic video. Thanks, Papa Meat. That was awesome.